Everybody before coming to America has a picture, a mental picture of what you see on TV.
Once you're hosted, you can't live like it's your house. You're not in your mama's house.
Sometimes I tell people that I lived in Madare and they don't believe.
Wait, where?
Madare.
Wapi.
Come on.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, what's up everybody? My name is Tony Shira and I'm hanging out here with my friends Pharrell and Junior. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, today this is a test podcast. I am here with these friends of mine who are involved in the same business that I am, and we just want to see how this works, just to hear their stories and just converse, just have a conversation. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TCTV1 USA and the Big Tony Shira Show. This is your channel. Let's hear what this conversation brings. What's up? What's up? All right, let's start with Pharrell. Pharrell, tell us, introduce yourself so that people can get to know you.
Yeah, my name is Pharrell. You can call me Pharrell Modoni. I'm Kenyan, coming from Kenya, living here in Washington, United States. Yeah, I'm just a young man after my dreams. I dream big and I go for those dreams.
A young man after his dreams. That reminded me something that sounds like a man after God's heart.
Yeah.
I don't know. We met with Pharrell in church and also with Junior, but I'll let Junior introduce himself. But before we do that, let's give this up to this guy, Pharrell. All right, Junior, it's your turn.
All right, I'm Junior, a young guy in America too, aspiring to dream big. All of us, right?
Right.
It's not just a one-person thing. Aspiring to get big, and living a day at a life.
All right.
A day at a time.
Awesome. And I'm Tony Shira, and we are all in film and photography and all these kinds of stuff, and we're just trying to see how it is getting into this land and making it happen for all of us. So as we start, we're gonna be talking about a couple of things in terms of the industry, production, film, cameras, life, and generally everything in between. So join us and let's have a good time. Okay, so Pharrell, tell us about you in terms of who is Pharrell?
Yes, like I said, Pharrell, he's a young man, bred in Kenya, born and bred in Kenya, and then I moved to the United States. And growing up, I always wanted to achieve the dreams I had for myself. And this is surprising because I always wanted to be a doctor.
Oh wow!
I remember telling my mother, I'll be very proud when I wear that white lab coat, not the one for the butchery. The doctor's lab coat.
Right.
And it happened. I got educated in Kenya and I became an occupational therapist in Kenya. Graduated in 2016. And then after that I moved to the United States. And guess what? I'm pursuing something very different from that.
What is that?
I'm pursuing film, performance studies, concentrating in acting.
So from being a doctor,
Yeah,
into film.
into film.
Very, very strange. Did you get an opportunity to practice in your...
Actually, I did, and actually before I graduated, I got a scholarship and I went to Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden in 2016. That's where I did my practicals, in occupational therapy. So I was there for 4 months, and then I came back to Kenya, and then I graduated, and then I got a job, a very lucrative job.
Okay.
And then after 2 months, I told my mom, I'm quitting.
Why are you quitting?
After 2 months?
After 2 months.
2 months, because I don't like being employed.
Okay.
I like growth. I like growing myself.
Right.
And I was I'm so limited being there. And so I quit, and then I got my own clients.
So you hated being under someone.
Exactly. So, yeah.
So what is it that bothers you when you're working under someone? Is it the rules? Is it the system? Do you want to make your own rules, or what
I want to
exactly
say I
bothered you?
think everybody is born different, because I was talking to a friend of mine and they say they can never ever start a business. They just want to be employed. But for me, I just wanted somewhere I can be very flexible, and I can use my knowledge for growth. I just
Right.
want to grow. I don't want to be in a cocoon whereby I'm just doing one thing.
Okay.
I just want to grow and also employ other people.
And I feel you because personally, even right now, I'm self-employed.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I don't go to work for nobody.
Yeah.
I just do my own hustles, and I gotta tell you, there's a whole different feeling to being self-employed.
Before you tell us about self-employment, you said you came in here in 2016. How did you come to the U.S.? What brought you to the U.S.?
Like every other person here, looking for greener pastures. You know, each and everyone here. I actually didn't hate Kenya, and I don't hate Kenya. It's just that everybody gets to a point where your environment is small. You need a bigger environment.
Yep.
And that's what brought me to America. Like I came in search of a bigger environment, a better life.
And if you don't mind me asking, what were you doing before you came to America?
I was still in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
So I was still in school. I think I was in Form 3, or that's 11th grade. Finished my studies here, worked, and eventually I got to a point where I didn't like being employed no more,
Right.
I got to a point where it was time,
Right. So, what is your self-employment? What do you do?
Oh, that's a tough one. Now you see, we had a conversation today about what is it called? There's something about being like I don't know how to explain. I worked in different jobs. I worked in different places, and just one day I woke up. I've done different occupancies. I've done AC installation.
Okay.
Oh, actually, my first job in America was landscaping.
Oh, cool.
I got to the job first day. I didn't know I was going to work. The guy told me, "Hey, let's head out." And then I was dressed nice, going to work. And when I got to the job, it was in Fox Island.
Okay.
So when you're going to Bremerton, Gig Harbor, it was by Fox Island, and the place was by the water. So from their backyard, it was some old couple. From the backyard, you can literally see like the ocean, right? But the place had an issue. We were there for landscaping, and the backyard, there was a place where it was really steep,
Okay.
about like a 40-foot drop to the water.
Wow.
So the house was elevated from the water,
Right.
and there were blueberry trees. And if you guys know about blueberry,
Yeah.
they're spiky, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was there for landscaping, and my boss tells me, since you don't have much experience, of course I had none, your job was to hand us out fuel and oil for the chainsaws, right?
Right.
I was like, how hard can it be? They're cutting up trees that were like growing parallel, so to clear the view, that was the job for landscaping. And we got there, started on the work. Of course, they had fuel before they went up the trees.
Yeah.
And now
they ran out.
They ran out, right? It was time for me to bring gas, and I bring gas to them, and the place you can't walk.
So still.
Every single square inch, it's steep, and there are blueberries everywhere.
Wow.
So it's like a hard job, and I'm dressed clean. So I'm trying to watch my outfit. I'm young. I'm trying to watch my outfit.
Did you think you were going to the office those times?
I didn't know. I thought we were going
You
to
just
visit a
turned up
relative.
like a normal day and-
I was like, we're going to give an estimate. That's what he told me. So
Right.
going to give out an estimate, you don't work.
Yeah.
But apparently that day we were working. So when I go to hand out gas, I slip and fell all the way down.
Wow.
All the way down. I couldn't grab on nothing because all the things are spiky. You know, it's spiky, so I couldn't. I fell all the way down to the
Bad
ground.
start.
And my gas was all the way to the bottom. So I have to go down, grab the gas tank, and then go back up.
Wow.
So it was the worst first day of work.
Did you ever go back again?
I did. I had no choice. I actually did landscaping for about a year.
He is a determined Kenyan.
From landscaping, I did AC installation.
Okay.
We used to install ACs in people's houses. I've worked in a shop. I've worked in photography field.
Right.
And anything you can think of.
All right. Pharrell.
Yeah.
I've seen some of your works. This guy here didn't tell us that he has a YouTube channel that he has done a lot of stuff in, and he's been posting about, many things that he has done. And one of the things that he said is that his first job in America was nothing related to what he had imagined would be like. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I think everybody before coming to America has a picture, a mental picture of what you see on TV, like, because they always show you these skyscrapers and everything. And so I thought when I come here, I'm gonna work in a hospital as an occupational therapist, because that's what.
Of course, you went to Sweden.
Exactly. So and then I was just using my phone to Google, like, before I came here, like, how much I'll be paid an hour. That was like,
it must have looked like
those
very
days.
good money.
Yeah, those days it was like $60 an hour. I was like, man. I was telling my mom, it's gonna be 2 years. I'm gonna be done and come back.
Right.
I'm gonna be rich.
Right.
Then when I got here, that was crazy because they told me I cannot practice without going back to school. My license is not recognized.
That is something that is important. I think people out there need to understand that it doesn't matter what level of education you've gone to from Kenya.
Oh yeah.
If you're coming here, it's a whole different ball game.
Oh, yeah.
Their system doesn't exactly recognize what we do.
Yeah.
There is some
At
level
all.
of recognition, but
There are some.
Yeah.
It's very small though.
Very
See,
small.
back home, I used to do flying too.
Mm-hmm.
I used to practice flying. I was working on my first license, and when I moved here, when I moved here, it was different. I had to start almost all over again, or try and recalculate my hours into American.
Yes.
It didn't make sense, but whatever you study back home, when you bring it here, it's almost invalid.
I think for me, it also depends on what you did back home. But what I didn't start from zero.
Mm-hmm.
So I took all my credit hours, and then I had them evaluated, and so they say that I should start as a sophomore. So so I did start from zero.
So let me ask you. So did you proceed on and complete your training in
Occupational therapy?
Yeah.
No, I started, but I stopped because
even after getting your credits?
I did all that part, and then I started, and then I stopped because I was like, do I really want to do this? Is this what I'm called to do? Like, because I've always wanted to do film. That was my first choice back home when I was going to college, and then people told me, like, film.
What are you gonna do with
it? Yeah, what are you gonna do? It doesn't look like it has money.
It has no money. Like we don't shoot movies.
What are you gonna do with it? And so I had to go to KMTC and do occupational therapy. So I changed my. So after 5 years of thinking about it, I enrolled into college, Kennesaw State University. So my major is theater and performance studies, concentrating in acting.
Oh, cool.
And of which it leads me back to thinking, like, you see, in law and in flying, those are I can try and understand, because you see, back home we use different laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here they use different laws in flying. Law the same, the law back home in Kenya is not the same with the law here. But when it comes to things like medical industry, I don't think they should change because the human anatomy doesn't
It's
change.
the same.
It's the same
I totally
all through
understand.
any country.
Yeah, in my own thinking, probably the reason that you find a difference in that is because, in terms of how strict people are, and this is driven by the, if you allow me to just share this opinion, I think the level of compensation in terms of if something goes wrong
Oh yeah.
here in America and back at home are worlds apart.
Yeah. It's
And so that's kind of what makes things very, very sensitive over here.
I understand, but you see, he went to school he went to medical school. Of course, they didn't just teach him just to go and work.
Right.
They taught him, they even educated him on the safeties. You see, that's different. They educated him on like most important things or everything that's important in the field.
Yeah.
Why is it when you come to America, it's like you're not to our standards? You studied, but
Yeah.
you're not to our standards.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
But that brings
That's
this
why I'm
question
talking about
because-
that's why I'm talking about how strict the system is
Yeah.
to ensure that if anything goes wrong, then it's genuinely something that can be covered.
I think it's
a lot
more
of-
about funds. It's
But
more
also-
about funds.
I think when you see like I don't know why we're not equal because we've had doctors, occupational therapists coming to Kenya,
Exactly, you see?
and maybe they have just the first degree and they're practicing. They're given a license to practice in Kenya.
Exactly.
And me, I have the same education. When I come over here,
You see?
I tried to be an OTA, occupational therapist assistant.
Okay.
And they said, for you to be that, you gotta have your education here for 2 years. And I was like, so I told them, no, I'm not doing it. Why can't you just give me an entrance exam, like to test me?
Yeah.
They said no. Those are not the policies.
That's
We
not
are
how it
following
works.
Our guidelines. And I was like, okay, let me just go to.
And you see,
Field.
once you go back to school, you're not going back to school for free. You're paying
Yeah.
out of pocket.
A lot of money.
Probably
And
we
it's
need
not
to
cheap.
ask. We need to ask people out there. Maybe what do you guys think is the reason that systems are so different? Why doesn't the system here recognize what level of education someone has gone through back in our
Why is there
countries?
biasness?
And when you come back here, and why is that imbalance? Probably you can put down your comments on the comment section down below.
And also, if you look at it, if a doctor from here can go back home and practice, they're coming with their American education, right? We have a different set of education. If it was the same way, we would require the doctors or whoever is coming to Kenya to redo
Yeah.
Yeah,
their
studies
studies
again.
again. You see,
The Kenyan
and we don't
system,
do
yeah,
that.
We don't do
Right.
that.
You see, we let them practice because, of course, you went to school.
Mm-hmm.
You went to school, you graduated. You come here and we're letting you do the job. But once you go, you come from your country educated and come here, it's invalid. Like,
I think that's
Right.
that's biasness to me.
That's neo-colonialism.
That's biasness.
Well, I don't know what that is all about because I've seen that a lot in the nursing field also. Basically,
nursing is
everything
very
almost.
different. Nursing, they can come and practice.
But not directly. They
No,
still have to go through.
they still have to do some
still have to go
exams.
through
It's
some
still
system.
not good because we get people from different countries going into different. There are a lot of exchange students. There are a lot of exchange students in America. There are students that go from Kenya to Australia to study, right? And once they go back to their country, they're able to practice
Yeah.
because you go to another country
to diversify and get more
exactly.
experience and all that.
And I'm sure there are good schools in Kenya. There are good schools.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
study
Of course.
medical industries,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming if I go to a nice medical school in Kenya and come back here and try and practice, it won't go through still.
Right. So that's about medical field. Let's talk about. You said you fix cars. I'm just putting it in a light language. You fix cars. I've noticed, I don't know if it's the same for you guys. A lot of times here, something goes wrong, you just dump that car and look for the next one. Uh, how's your experience in your
So
in that sector?
in my field, I've met a lot of people who are on the verge with their cars or their trucks, because I fix both semi trucks and small cars.
Okay.
I've met a lot of people who are on the verge of throwing away their cars simply because of, I'd say, lack of knowledge and lack of education. Not lack of education in school, but lack of education, like ask simple questions. You know? Someone will have an issue with car. The car starts, he dies, right?
And they want to dump it.
And they ask around, and they're like, "Oh, man, I'm telling you that I had to throw away my car." You see,
Right.
wow. It's the same thing. Someone gives you they misinform you,
Right.
and it's an issue. I go there and I'm like, you need a new alternator. And
Right.
That's it. And the car runs fine.
Right.
And the people I help, and they're like, wow, like I've gone so many shops. I had a job on Friday, Bob Brakes. She went to a shop and she was charged $1,200 for front and rear brakes.
Yeah.
It's a small car. It's not worth $1,200 in both parts and labor. The brakes were out, the rear brakes, less than a year. I went and checked and found out like it was really like the shop she went to did a really bad job to a point where her pads were worn like this instead of straight.
So like
straight.
they didn't put them properly.
They didn't put them properly.
They charged $1,200.
Exactly, $1,200. So I corrected the issue and put in new brake pads, and I came in extremely lower. She was even like, "Are you sure? Like you're charging me?" I was like,
Right
"Yeah,
amount,
man, right?" Because I don't like taking advantage of the small person, right?
Yeah.
Today, if I take advantage of that person, tomorrow they're not calling me for work.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
But if I come today and do a good job, tomorrow you calling me, right? If I come and like, you know what, I'm not gonna charge you for that.
Yeah.
Definitely tomorrow when your car breaks down, you're gonna call me again.
Of course. So would you say that that is attributed to the kind of education also that they give the people, or I mean the people working in these places? By the time someone is putting those brakes the wrong way,
it's more money, you know. They just want to get the job done and move
That's
to the
it,
next
yeah.
car, you know. They're not taking their time into the person's car.
so would you say that would you say there is a missing link in terms of information, like
My advice is like have one mechanic. You know, you can't have 5 different mechanics.
Yeah.
Same thing with the hospital. You don't have 5 doctors.
Yeah.
Right.
You only have one doctor.
Somebody you trust.
Somebody you trust. Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people are taking advantage of people. You know, an old lady coming to you for work, you take advantage of her. The money is not going to help you. It's literally not going to be beneficial to you because you're taking advantage of an older person.
Absolutely.
But like I said, if I come there and she's an older person and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm not going to charge you for this. Just, you're good. The lady is happy. She'll call me over and over and over. That's how I've gotten like a stable amount of clientele because I never like take advantage of my clients. They tell me like, you know what, I'm not going back to that shop. If I need anything, I'm gonna call it.
Woo! I want to ask you, how old are you?
Ethics right there.
What?
You got some good ethics. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I want to ask him how old he is.
Why?
Because you look pretty young, and I mean, you talked about 2016 is when you were, just about coming out here. You were still in school, but you've got this, sounds like you've got so much experience in some of these things. Earlier on, as we were speaking, you said you have how many states to visit yet?
I have about eight
You've
states
been
left in America.
You've been in all over all these other states. What were you doing in your young age?
So
You're still young.
I've had a lot of people around me who are mature, right? All my friends, they're older people, people with families, and they say you learn better with people's mistakes. You never learn with your own mistake.
Yeah, well, actually, Achebe once said that you don't have to be hit by a train to know that trains kill people.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I've had a lot of beneficial people in my life who have led me to the right direction.
Right.
Kept me on the right path. And looking at their mistakes, young people like this statement, "You're young and dumb." It's not. It's not. It's not
you
smart.
don't buy into that.
I don't buy into that because
Right.
you're young today. Tomorrow you're old. You get a felony today. 30, or when you get to 30 or 40, you still have that felony. It's gonna affect you, and a lot of young people wasting their lives doing dumb stuff. Because I'm young, I still got time to recover. But once you get something in your record in America, it's hard to get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Like you can actually what you're doing, and you know the consequences of doing all those.
Oh yeah, there are consequences to your actions.
To every action.
Every action.
Yeah. Talking about books and all that, Pharrell, you've written a book.
Yeah.
Or is it books?
Yeah. The other ones are coming.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just to let the viewers know, the first time I heard his name, someone was telling me that there is some guy who's written a book, and I think you guys should talk. I didn't know what they thought we should talk about. Maybe we should know what were we supposed to talk about. Your writing and your book.
Yes.
Could you tell us?
Yeah, I heard he had a book.
Yeah.
What's the book about?
Well, we in 2022, I wrote a book. So now let me just piggyback. 10 years ago, I started writing a book.
Okay.
Yes, more than 10 years ago. So I realized I can write because I was very good in literature back in high school.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, so what triggers this interest?
You want to write?
I want to write.
I've always been good in my literature, English, and everything. And so at some point, I taught a high school class, literature and English and poetry and everything. And so I knew I can write.
Okay.
And so I started writing a book, a novel. And 10 years later, it's not even finished.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where the interest came from. And so in 2022, I said, man, I need to write something and it needs to get out there. And because of my background, whatever I've gone through, I said, let me just write a book about myself.
What have you gone through?
A lot of things. And now you have to read that book.
Give us a preface.
Yeah, so the book is called From Grass to Grace.
Okay.
From Grass to Grace is a book about myself, and I'm just talking about some motivation that you can be nobody in one day, and the next day you can be somebody if you just follow your dream without looking back.
Okay.
And without looking at the circumstances that are surrounding you. I was born. I've been raised by a single parent.
Okay.
Single mother. So I've never known a dad in my life.
Okay.
And my mom was not educated, and so she raised us in a very humble background. And I like telling people that was not my life.
Absolutely.
That was her life.
Yeah.
I wasn't poor. She was poor. that is true.
Yeah,
yes,
that's very true.
You have to come out of that.
Yeah. Disconnect
yourself.
That's actually very beneficial.
Right? I am not part of that. I have to craft my own life. And that's why I wrote the book, because some people don't develop. They don't just go to the next step.
Right.
Always saying, oh, I've been from a poor background. What are you doing about it? Right?
So you sulk and settle for that and feel pity for yourself forever.
And so the book is all about me and my mom and how she gave me the motivation to just go out there in the world and be myself and look after everything that I always wanted to have.
Awesome.
And it's an inspiration to both young and older people who are just there, in their cocoons.
Great.
You need to get out.
Great. And that just reminds me that, as part of what he learned, he also learned how to make chapatis, something that he has also brought into his his videos. He's done a video
How
of
to-
making chapatis. Can you make chapatis?
I can cook.
Chapatis?
I can cook anything.
Chapatis?
Chapatis?
I can cook anything, yeah. I can cook a nice gourmet meal. I can cook a nice meal for you, you know?
Specifically, can you make chapatis?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
I can
gonna
make
have a competition.
chapati,
Okay.
samosa,
Oh, really?
mandazi.
Okay. Look at you.
How
Keep
did you
those
learn?
going.
How tell us how you learned how to do that.
So, coming from Kenya, I never did dishes. I never cooked. I know it's weird.
Do you have sisters? Like,
Yes,
Did
I have
that
a
for you?
sister,
Okay.
and
Young
back
older?
home we had somebody older. Back home we had somebody around the
Taking
house,
care,
yeah.
you know, a house manager. And when I moved here with my sister, just me and my sister,
Okay.
right? And when we moved here with my sister, I had to learn these things, you know. I was hosted by somebody, and once you're hosted, you can't live like it's your house, you know. You're not in your mama's house.
Yeah.
You have to like step up, and I never
Help
did dishes.
out. You
Yeah.
got to start
So I
doing
started
some
doing
things.
dishes. I started cooking ugali. I started just slowly, and eventually, these days I can cook like a nice meal, you know.
oh, wow.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
Interesting.
It was a matter of like interest, you know. I was to a point where I'm home, there's nobody. I gotta learn how to cook, you know.
Because you're
A lot of men, even like 30-year-old men, 40-year-old men, don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Can't get in
Just
the
a
kitchen,
simple
right?
meal.
Yeah.
And I had to get myself out of that to survive.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can understand that because for most Kenyans and especially the guys from the mountain region, like once you face the knife, you're not supposed to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
my dad wouldn't let me be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
After I faced the knife,
Yeah.
like I couldn't get in the kitchen. The
Yeah.
only thing I was allowed to do in the kitchen is cook eggs and grab water and
Right.
whatever, you know.
Right.
But cooking wasn't, or dishes wasn't part of.
I didn't have a
my
choice.
ordeal.
I had to cook.
He didn't have a choice. Well, my story about making chapatis, which I'm going to challenge you on, because I saw how you did yours. I have a different version.
You can cook too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
We are cooking chapati people here. So my mom had a small kiosk.
Okay.
Back in the village, they call them hoteli.
Yeah.
But it's just a small
cafe.
Cafe. Yeah. So, and I am the first son, so
Ooh.
I spent quite some time with her.
Yeah.
When my elder sisters are in school, so I'm left there. So I learned how to kind of like do those things.
So if
when
you
she
don't mind,
travel-
I'd mind asking. So your dad too wasn't present? Or?
So what happens is funny. The community I come from, which is Mbere, traditionally, men are supposed to be hunters. Men are supposed to go out there and.
So and that's what I had too. I had better stuff to do outside. You know, you can clean the car, you can do whatever is out there that needs to be done.
Yeah.
House stuff got people, to
Right.
tend to.
So my dad was in Nairobi all through his life. I'm born in Nairobi. I was born in Jama Hospital,
Okay.
but then spent my childhood in the village. So basically what happens is that Nairobi is a farm, Nishamba. So he's out there farming and trying to get like business going on. From Nairobi, he's working. He comes home once a month at the end of the month. But the rest of the time, we are with our mom.
Okay.
Like she's
get it.
fending for us and taking care of the farm, the cows, all of those things. So you
gonna have to
be-
learn a lot of things like,
Yeah.
when you eat with your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly being absent,
It's
but
like
he's out there doing other things.
Okay.
And so my mom has this cafe and we are there trying to make things happen. So I learned because sometimes she will be traveling. She goes to town, like she goes to Embu town or she's visiting. Sometimes she's going to Nairobi and we are left back home. And she just says, you need to know how to sell tea. That America, the one that you put the cup over there, and the kettle is over here, and you just have to
drop the tea. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. So
that's where you learn how to
that's
make
how I
chapatis.
learned. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're gonna have a duel.
We can do it.
Because,
A competition with chapatis.
I love cooking, so
Right.
yeah, I can make any meal, and I love it.
Yeah, cooking is an art. You can just be in the house, remove some ingredients, place them there, put some music, and get to cooking. I enjoy cooking too.
But I have a little problem.
Yeah.
They come out crunchy.
No, not on the chapatis. The chapatis,
okay.
I'm good. In fact, I had a program. Every Wednesday, I used to make chapatis Wednesdays, like right after high school. I used to make chapatis on Wednesdays, which I would eat Wednesday evening, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you had a meal.
Yeah. So like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, my meal officially was chapati.
Oh.
Yeah. So I make like several. So I eat some on the day, the next day, and the next day.
Okay.
But the problem that I have is about other meals. I don't mind cooking when I know I want to eat, because I also want to eat what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I know how to do it.
Yeah.
But my problem is that sometimes it smells so good when I'm making it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't taste the same when it's done.
It happens.
You gotta pick the right ingredient, the right spices. I usually, so when if I'm making a stew, or if I'm making a meat stew, whatever I'm making, I usually like to taste the curry, curry that I make, or the stew that I make. I keep tasting it, to ensure that the flavor is within where I want it,
Yeah.
That's interesting, because like for me, I am the cook that doesn't taste their food
You don't?
until it's done. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
The chumvi.
Let me.
Yeah, exactly.
But you listen to the ancestors. The ancestors tell you the amount of salt to put.
Do you grill meat?
It's not a favorite
Okay.
dish of mine.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna have to taste.
You gotta have to taste it, You gotta keep tasting it and check if the...
That's the problem. You're tasting uncooked meat.
No,
No,
okay, you
but-
can't taste it when it's raw.
When do you decide? When do you decide?
So
at
when it
what
starts
point you're
getting
going to
like
taste?
nice,
Yeah.
cooked color, once it starts looking like... I don't know how to explain it.
It's
Like you see with me grilling meat, I usually ensure first it's cooked. Like, just visual check.
Yeah.
You can tell this is raw or this is, I usually first do an eyesight check,
Yeah.
and then now slice a piece off the edge, and taste the salt.
How do you cook food without tasting?
Yeah. That explains it.
Listen,
That's
That
what I say,
explains
it's not-
it.
it's
you see,
not-
listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so as part of my growing up, a lot of time in the village, I used to have a condition in my ears. I used to get some sores, so I used to go back to Nairobi. I used to get appointments in Kenyatta a lot of times.
Okay.
And so every time I went to Nairobi, of course, it would just be me and my dad. And so our meals and everything, I learned how to cook from back in the day. In
Yeah,
fact,
okay.
I was too small. I couldn't reach the kitchen top, so I would step on a stool
Oh.
and cook. We had this small pressure
Yeah.
stove. So what would usually happen is like he tells you go buy a quarter
Of meat.
of meat,
Yeah.
and then 2 skuma wikis. Okay.
They're chopped, yep.
Yeah. So when you buy,
Yeah,
you
they
for
chop
you.
it, yeah.
And then 2 nyanyas
Yeah.
and 3 kitungus, not the round ones.
Yes.
The
Spring onions.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you get 3 strands of those.
Yeah.
So typically, this is what you make all the time.
Oh yeah.
This is about the amount of salt that I put, and usually,
yeah.
usually,
Yeah.
the ancestors tell you that is enough.
I don't know. I like to taste my food as I cook it, to ensure like the flavor is within what I want, or-
So hold on. I think you hold on.
Okay.
If you have, it's the same quarter. It's the same kitungu. It's the same nyanya. It's the same salt. Why do I have to
I
taste
think
that?
I
It
think you
tasted
can
good
say
the first time.
I think you can say that when you're not adding
Any spices. Yeah.
Yes, but if you're adding any spices,
I
you're
mean,
gonna have to taste.
I mean, how do you eat kale?
But I think that was back then.
Yeah, we never.
Oh, okay.
So like,
yeah,
we were
no
not.
spices.
Yeah, we were not onto
Exactly.
the spices.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
No Royco and.
Let me ask you guys. I mean, do you guys find our Kenyan food raw as it is without the spices more flavorful than?
I mean, yeah, kinda. Yeah.
I don't know. Like my food, I like adding some spices in there
Exactly.
to get flavor in the food. You
Yeah.
know, you're not just cooking food to eat it. You need to enjoy your food when
Yeah,
when
It's
you're
very
eating
blunt, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to add something.
Yeah. Well, nowadays I do.
it. At least
but-
some Royco, you know, some
Cayenne
some curry.
pepper.
Yeah.
Nowadays I do. I try to, but it's not because of anything other than that. I kind of feel like the food here is not as flavorful.
Yeah,
as-
so you're gonna have to add a lot of spices to make it like flavorful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess then I was still okay.
And what about now? Do you put spices, different kind of spices? And do
I
you-
try, but I'm minimal.
Okay.
I'm pretty minimal.
Yeah.
On that.
You don't need to put a lot. You know, you just need to
Good.
put some.
I think it's
some
good to be
little-
organic.
But I enjoy my food.
It's
I
good
think
to
you
be
guys
organic.
probably after this we need to go down and you guys can taste my ugali and skuma and.
Ugali is ugali.
You see, now
You don't add any spices.
no, with
I'm on the-
ugali
I'm on the
though,
skooma- I'm on
you
the
just
skooma
don't
part.
cook it like that.
I'm on
You
the
see?
skooma part.
All right, now with ugali, you just don't boil oil. You just don't boil water with flour. You
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
The flour will get really hard. Nobody's going to enjoy the ugali. So what I usually do when I cook my ugali, I put a little bit of butter,
Yeah.
and a little bit of milk.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
the ugali will be really
tastes-
nice and
tastes-
flavorful.
yeah,
you
it
know,
tastes so
it
good.
doesn't just taste flat because
That's
the
weird
flour
too.
here is different.
That doesn't sound like ugali. That's the kind of ugali that my wife would want.
That is
because
No.
digital.
You don't want a
Digital
ugali
ugali.
that you know you try to like squeeze with your hand. and
But
you
what
just-
is ugali if
No,
you're not
time is
squeezing?
changing, my friend.
Exactly, time is changing. You can't.
Come on, you guys. Come on, you guys.
You can't. You still in back then where you have to slap, you know, ugali on a wall and then see if he falls off. He falls off.
You used to do that if you don't know how to make ugali.
It's
So you slap it
evolution.
on the wall to see if it's
Yeah,
gonna stick.
It's evolution.
You
my
see,
friend.
now we're evolving. You see,
Yeah.
we stopped doing that because we evolved.
Yeah.
You see, now we're evolving different too. The flour here
Come
is not
on,
the same
man.
from back home.
We are losing our culture. We are losing our culture. Like,
Do you think that's losing culture?
Squeezing ugali is an important part of our culture.
Nah.
I'm not trying to keep chewing for 5 minutes. You know, like damn, this is hard.
Chewy ugali.
No, I'm trying to like get
Wow.
nice piece of ugali, squish it nicely, you know, grab
Yeah.
some skooma, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like.
I give up on you guys. I think we need to have a duel, a cooking duel, so that you know these guys can give you the version with the butter and
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
coconut oil. Even
butter,
worse.
milk. First of all, I don't even like milk.
Alright, butter.
But milk is in the ugali, so
Yeah, you're not gonna even taste it.
I might not like it in there too.
Oh
And
my
it's just-
god. I feel
You
like
are special.
you're being biased.
No,
you need
think
to
about
taste it.
Think about it. I mean, I am from the school of thought that you don't have to fix it if it's working. Do you believe that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if I enjoy my ugali
You don't need to fix
without
it.
milk and
Yeah.
butter,
Yeah.
Hey,
That's your
it
thing.
works. But here's the question though.
I highly suspect if you guys
Uh.
taste my ugali, because probably what you guys have gone through is something that I have known from some people.
Here's a question though I have for you.
Okay, you'll ask it after this. Some people have been exposed to unwell cooked ugali, so they think ugali is not nice.
Yeah.
And I suspect you guys have been subjected to that, so you introduce all these things
Not
to try and
really.
make up for it.
Even if I cook ugali without that, I can taste the difference. You
Okay.
know, it feels like I don't know what to explain. You know, like.
Right.
But my question was this:
Okay.
But do you eat your ugali the next day?
Oh yeah, I actually make ugali for like 2-3 days.
Because when I cook it without butter, the next morning it's as hard as a rock.
Yeah.
No, then it's the way you do it. So basically, the amount of water that you use, the amount of flour you add to the water, when it's done, it's not supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty soft.
Yeah.
So that even if it's hard the next day, you don't have to like struggle with it.
Yeah.
And it's something that I sometimes I used to say, when I want to gully for lunch, I want it like really soft.
Yeah.
When I want to gully for dinner, I want it slightly harder.
Really hard.
Slightly harder. But ugali, that is, like when you're cooking, there's a very, very simple, there's a very easy likelihood to add more flour,
Yeah.
because you kind of feel like it's not shikanad.
It's not
But then
hard.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
by the time it's getting cooked, it is really hard.
hard.
And I had a very bad experience one time
Yeah.
because I kept adding
Flour.
like flour, so it became too hard.
And then
And I
I'm
add
adding
some
water.
and unfortunately
Oh.
the water I was adding, that's
Was
a,
cold.
It's not hot.
it wasn't hot, and that's those days way back.
Yeah.
So I add some more water, which is not hot,
So you
and
eat,
then the ugali
you eat
like
raw ugali.
shakes or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
Then the water was too much. Then I add some more flour. Then now it was too much in the
And now
pot,
there's some
and
cooked
now I have to-
ugali.
and it's now starting to burn
Oh.
and bringing in some brown
Yeah.
smoke.
Oh, okay. And it's not done. Wow.
And now I have to cut it and throw part of it.
I can imagine what a mess it was.
It was a bad experience. The whole place is smoky. I mean, if
Wow.
it was in America,
Oh,
then
yeah.
all
The
these
smoke
things would be
alarms
going
would
on.
have been
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah. So that's not an experience that I really like as far as cooking is
Cooking is
concerned.
yeah.
And what about American food? What would you say
Let
about
Pharrell
American
talk
food?
about it first.
I'm not a big fan of American food. Cause yeah. When we're talking about American food, what is American food actually?
Burgers.
No, you see, American food though is split into two. It's
mac and cheese.
It's split into two.
Okay.
There's a fast food,
Yes.
like there's a fast food lane.
But is
and
that
there's-
like the typical? Because even in Kenya we have the fast food and everything.
Yeah.
What is the typical American food like? What can you say?
Mac and cheese.
America?
Like the way we say in
like fast
Kenya.
food.
No, like the way we say in Kenya. Like we have ugali, nyama choma, we have githeri.
It's MacD.
But yeah, so my I think I don't like those kind of foods, and it also depends on the environment. When I came to America, the people I was staying with, their family, and so we didn't eat much of
The American
outside.
food.
Yeah, so we used to cook from home, and I've been used to that, and I like that because you eat healthy.
Yeah.
And you control yourself because that urge to just go out there, have a burger or whatever. It's not very healthy. Sometimes you eat once in a while,
Right.
but then when you get so used to cooking from home, it's the best thing. So I really don't like American.
So even if you get an option to eat out, what would you prefer? More of like burgers or more of wings or?
No,
like-
really, I would go for a steak.
Precisely. That's the
Yeah,
same thing that I
it's-
do. Like a
it's
ribeye,
mashed-
get a steak,
yeah, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, mashed potatoes
Yes.
or a roast potato.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
That's the closest we can go.
that's near home.
But you seem
No,
to
no.
be.
I'm not a huge fan of American food too.
Okay.
I was just asking, to get a perspective because
Right.
a lot of people come here from Kenya and
Yeah.
and like have a different taste of fast food, and really get into it. And there are those who are more inclined into healthier options. You see,
Right.
what you guys mentioned is American food, but a different aisle. You see,
Yeah.
that's not on the fast food lane. It's more of the cooked food.
Yeah.
Same thing. If I go out, I'll definitely eat a steak over a burger.
But also, we used to go to these Mexican restaurants because they are closer.
yeah, actually,
Yeah, so when they
I'd
cook
prefer
their
a
food,
Mexican. Yeah.
So it's better.
Yeah, Mexican food is closer to.
And less fatty.
Of course, yeah.
You said something about healthy, and I'm here asking myself. So is American food not healthy?
I would say there's a lot of sugar and processed sugar in the foods if you just compare from back home, because everything in America is sugar, syrup, all those unprocessed sugar, these simple sugars, And in biology, these sugars are
You're
not.
listening to me deep right now. Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
So,
we're now
like,
speaking the professional,
These sugars are not good for your body. When you're eating these white things like white bread, when you're drinking sugar, the real sugar, the white sugar, even the ugali you're talking about, the white one, rice. So and then when you look at all these things, they have a lot of sugars, and that is a big problem. This is a research that was done that big problem in America. These simple sugars, they are killing everybody because you become obese in no time. So I would say I wouldn't say American foods are unhealthy, but it depends on what you're eating, because we have
and
like
also
organic,
what you're doing
we have
after
American
you eat.
organic food, which is very expensive, and not so many people can actually afford to buy it. So I would just go to McD or just get a burger and continue adding a lot of weight because of these sugars and these cheese.
It's affordable.
Affordable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about your cold dishes?
Like the seafood.
The veggies and like you go for lunch, and that is what's served. I have an American wife, and sometimes we go to functions, and all there is what I call salads.
I've gone. No offense, I've gone to a full American party.
Yeah.
And what you find laid down on the table is different from what you find in an African party.
You're like, this is a joke,
right? Yeah, I found cheese, raw kales, like bread,
just
salami.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
And that's what.
No offense, but what am I supposed to do with that?
And so you actually go out and you eat that, and you think there will be food now.
Yeah, that's
exactly. That's what I was waiting for, because I even asked them. I was like, "Is this the appetite?" No, this is the. I'm like,
food. Yeah.
no, I can't eat
That like that's it.
I can't eat food like a goat.
Yeah.
And my food gotta be cooked. I can't just eat like kales raw. Like, what's the point?
And when you're done, that's it.
We're actually that is kind of dissing the people who invented fire. What did they invent it for?
It also depends on the occasion, because I've been to a party where they serve the same kind of food, like it's just salads only.
Yeah.
Like, okay, is the food coming?
So me and my brother
the
snuck
food
out.
that came was just fajitas, and that was it. So I went home with an empty stomach.
Yeah, me and my brother snuck out, and we had to go to somewhere and grab actual food that can fill us, and then come back.
Yeah.
But I think I think the idea is that those foods are healthier. Because I know, not cheese, like the green stuff. Because I know some other Americans who literally cook.
Yeah.
And they make some good meals. So
it depends.
It depends.
Yeah. So a lot of time I tell my wife, like, is there gonna be real food? If I go somewhere else, I ask her, is there gonna be real food? Because what they call real food
is different.
It's not real food to me.
Yeah, for an African man,
you
need some
heavy stuff in your stomach.
Yeah.
You can just munch on green leaves and cheese and salami. I don't know. That doesn't do anything for me.
And cheese is constant.
And cheese is constant. It doesn't go down. It's refilled every second.
Cheese
I'm not
is
a fan
constant.
of cheese.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Depends
because
on where you
we
put
didn't grow up in Kenya. We don't have a lot of households eating cheese. If you go to Europe, that's a thing there. If you come to America,
big
that's
thing.
a thing.
Yeah.
When I went to Sweden, and then I visited Netherlands, they have one of the best cheeses in the world, like in Holland. And you see somebody literally just eating it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like they can't. They ask me, don't you eat cheese? And I'm like, no, I don't eat. They're like, wow.
Like how?
Yeah,
They can't understand.
So I tell them you just have butter, the blue band.
Blue band. And those guys must have really branded themselves to a point that everybody thinks
same thing as
I
Omo.
know.
Same thing as Omo. That's like so.
Absolutely, absolutely. You just came back from Kenya.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how was that? You know.
And has it been long since you were there?
No, actually, no. This is my fourth time going back.
No, like the period.
No, 1 year.
Oh,
1 year.
okay.
Yes.
So there wasn't
I
much
try to
change.
go every year.
Well, I know a lot has changed in terms of like you know, like what we read on the social media. You know, people saying the cost of living.
It's expensive.
You know, so what was it like generally? Just first of all, like getting back home.
I think you know, whatever you see on the social media, part of it is true because like the cost of living has really gone up. And actually, I went to a certain mall. I'll not say where, but when you see the cost of things there, it's more even expensive than here. And I was like,
oh, really?
what is going on here? Yeah, like I'm like I don't really need to shop there. I can just come back here and shop over here. And so people are complaining because you know, a lot of people are unemployed. And when you see how
the life of living is getting expensive.
if you see how the dollar was moving against the Kenya shillings, so a lot of people are, you know, they don't have a lot of money. There's no money on the ground, and so the cost of items, basic items, is way high.
And come to think of it, you know, like here in America, once the pay wage goes up, the standards of living go up, right? But in Kenya, we're doing the opposite. We're raising we're raising the standards of living with no income. You know, not many people have like a dedicated salary.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people are living off of hustles. And you can't tell me you're taxing somebody over their hustle. You know, like they're barely getting enough to feed their children and take their children to school. You know, and then you're coming and grabbing more. I feel like
we have a lot of professionals who, you know, don't work. They, like you say, they're just hustling. And so that's where the problem is, because we don't have a lot of money coming in, and also the prices of you know, produce, products and everything is very expensive, it's very high. And so when you just get something basic for a day, you survive.
But I'm also made to understand there's a lot of growth in terms of like you know, what you see in buildings, like people are constructing. More cars coming on the roads. Who are these people and where are they getting the money?
I mean, everywhere you go, there, of course, we have some people who have money, and I think not even the super rich, the middle class. Like, we have a lot of developments in Kenya, especially like we're saying, infrastructure. There's a lot of buildings coming up, apartments and everything, people buying land, people buying cars.
Where are they getting the money?
I don't know, maybe
and
they're doing
because one side you're speaking with your relatives, you know. They're complaining like, yo, we're starving, you know, and you get on your phone and look and you see a brand new Lamborghini arriving in the port of Kenya. Like,
who are these people?
Who are these people? Like, are these guys in the same country?
Of course, you can see them out there, but then they're doing something, you know. They have money. And because like now they constructed this road, the expressway, I went to this what do we call it, Mlolongo. When you go to Mlolongo, I've not been there for the last like 6 years. I was surprised because the amount of buildings that are there, high class buildings.
Okay, and are they occupied?
They are. So people have just, I think people have just moved out of Nairobi. So they're just going to those, you know, the
outskirts.
Outskirts and suburbs because of the roads.
So are you suggesting there are empty houses in Nairobi?
No, really, because we have more people
there
coming
more
in.
Infrastructure
Can never be empty.
there's still buildings going up in Nairobi.
Yeah, so we might be complaining, but still there are some people who are very comfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
I have friends who were telling me like they can't even come to America. My age mates, they are like, we'll just come to visit you, but we are very comfortable here. We are making enough money.
You see, if honestly, if I'm to be you're better off living in Kenya. with your nice income, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
decent amount of income.
Oh yeah.
What is
better.
what is a decent amount of income?
So, I personally, like, to live in Kenya, you need about like $500,000 coming in a month.
That's a lot of money.
$500,000.
Oh no, sorry. Oh,
Oh,
Kenyan shillings.
okay.
You need about 200,000 Kenyan shillings to about 500,000 Kenyan shillings
Okay.
arriving in Kenya, or arriving in your account to live there comfortably.
Yeah,
Right.
I would support that if you have your own house, like you're not paying any rent. If you have your own piece, a small piece of land, you have your own
Your
house
own
there, you
house,
have your
yeah.
car.
What do you guys
And
want
then
to do with? What do you
20,000.
guys want to do with 200,000 that you're not paying rent out of? What do you want to do?
200,000
No, that's a lot. That's like really.
That's why I want him to explain. Like, you have 200,000 a month.
That's not enough.
What do you want to do with it without?
You
paying
have to
rent?
eat.
Shopping is about like 30,000.
Yeah, you have your school
see,
fees
school
for your
fees,
kids.
like,
You got to fuel your car.
There's electricity.
Yeah.
There's water.
Yeah,
you know.
and it's very expensive actually.
Right.
Because I went, I was trying to shop for my mom, and even 20,000 is nothing.
There's nothing. So, the reason I'm bringing that up is because there's a friend of mine who, in a high school group actually, and maybe we'll talk about this as we come to the end, probably in the next 5 minutes. So this guy, I was trying to encourage my high school friends to sign up for, to apply for the DV lottery,
Green
card.
the
Yeah.
green card.
Yes.
And this guy comes in and tells the people, yo, you're better off just staying here.
Yeah.
If you're making 40,000 a month,
No.
you
No.
better just
No,
stay
no, no,
here.
I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't.
can't.
I tell people about the green card, and I wouldn't advise that. No.
You need far more than
We've been
40,000,
here, and we
40,000.
can compare. No.
Can I shock you that, there are guys that bought that
Oh no.
and they did not. And I was offering to help them because I usually, come September, I usually like tell guys to come through. And especially the guys at home, I just tell them I just need a good photo, and I tell them where you can go to get good photos.
Yeah.
I will do the process for you. I'll apply for you. I'll fill out the whatever for you for free. But
Oh,
these
wow, my
guys
goodness, no.
are told, no, you go there.
And you're told 40,000.
Yeah.
No,
I was
that's
being paid 50,000 in 2016, and I quit because it wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
and
Then you're telling somebody like 40,000. No.
and this is a month.
Yeah.
No. I can't.
I also found it. I was
That's
unable-
what makes the difference. You remember, he's aspiring to be self-employed, or he likes being self-employed more than being employed.
Yeah.
Now these are the kind of people that you can tell this person likes to be self-employed and this person likes to be employed. Right? You see, if I have an aspiration to be self-employed, I'm not gonna do a job that's paying me 40,000 Kenyan shillings
Right.
a month.
Right.
That's barely enough, right?
Yeah.
I have relatives that spend about 40,000 on shopping
Yeah.
a month, right?
I ran a club before I came here, and I can tell you, like, it is expensive to
It
be
is, yeah.
to be in Kenya. Personally, I wouldn't say that 200 is like the bare minimum. For
Yeah.
me, it's 150.
Yeah.
If you're making 150 upwards,
With a house or without a house?
you're somewhere. You're
Yeah.
somewhere good. Even if you have a house and you're paying a rent of like 30,000, you're on a good
But
start.
you still don't have much wiggle room. You remember, this is a month, right? Not
Yeah.
bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So like there is rent, there's electricity, there's rent, there's tokens, there's water, you know.
Tokens.
There are a lot of things that are really gonna drain that 150,000.
Yeah. Well, it was just my assessment, and that's back in the day. It's
Oh, okay.
it's not
Yeah.
like
Oh, not now. I feel like now you can't
like
survive
probably right
with
now
150.
200 probably could be like a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
200
should
is
be
a bare
trying to-
minimum, yeah.
to make.
To survive.
Because
Right.
I know a person who moved here and they were making about that, and they were like, it wasn't sustainable. You know, you're paying rent, shopping, all those utilities, all those costs. Once they're brought back together,
But I think
they're left with nothing.
I also think like we humans, it's not ever gonna be enough.
It can't be
be.
enough. Yeah. You
Because
upgrade
you upgrade with you
with
upgrade
what
your
you get.
standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I'm surviving with 200K right now, I want to be surviving with 500. Your standards
Yeah.
can get
But more money, more problems.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway.
So yeah, because you see, like if I make on average 30,000 a month, I'm gonna fashion my life around that 30,000 until
yeah.
I'm probably able to get more.
Exactly.
And so in terms of the rent, I'll look for a place that
Serves
It's
that.
Yeah.
yeah. I will not be looking for a house where I'm paying 30,000 or 25 or 15.
Yeah.
I'll probably look for a 7,000 house,
Wow.
and then probably
Work around that.
he talked about grass to grace.
Yeah.
And sometimes I tell people that I lived in Madare and they don't believe
Wait,
me.
where?
Madare.
Wapi.
Madare Area 4. Madare 4 Area 4. Yeah.
Wait, you lived in Madare?
Yeah.
So you know Mlango Kubwa?
I know Mlango Kubwa very well. Like I even used to do Makanga Kidogo
Okay.
for Uncle Junior Matatus
Wow.
to just get some money going.
Oh yeah.
And the funny thing that I will tell you about that place is because when I lived there, I adapted to like what I was making. I had a government job as a clerk that was paying me mega money,
Yeah.
and it wasn't enough to sustain me.
Oh.
So that's why I moved there. We actually moved over there with a friend. We were sharing
house.
a room.
Yeah.
A single bed sitter.
Not a bed sitter, just a room.
Wow.
There's no kitchen or whatever. You just you decide that is our kitchen over there.
That's our bedroom.
And
that's our
this
kitchen.
is our bedroom over here, and that is where we put our clothes.
Yeah.
It's just a room.
You use partitionings.
Yeah, and I didn't like partitioning because when you put the partition, then the place looks
smaller.
So I just used to say like, just leave it that way.
Yeah.
But the thing is, while there, we adapted to this thing. Like in terms of the meals, we will make the ugali in the house, but then for the nyama, you just there's this guy who shreds like pieces of meat, like heart or liver or kidney.
Oh.
Yeah, he slices a bit of them, packs for you. You come, you make your skumas and throw in those and koroga, and now
you have a meal with meat.
yeah.
Okay.
And that would cost us like the shredded pieces of meat would be like 5 bob.
Oh wow.
Of which
Those days.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and the skuma would be like another
20 bob,
no,
30 bob.
no, like another 10 bob.
And you're done for the
that's-
day.
Yeah.
Wow, you can survive that.
But now you see,
No,
once you start making,
don't say you can't, because that happens even now.
you can. Yeah, there are
In
people
those places,
living
that
off of that.
happens even now. So I was just coming back to like what you just said, like we keep upgrading because like
Oh,
the
yeah.
moment I started making more money, I moved out of that location.
Of course.
And then continued discovering more about myself and what I could do, make more money, and moved on to the next thing. I can tell you by the time I was I lived in Umoja. I left Umoja not because the space was anything. I had a 3-bedroom house in Umoja, but I moved to a 2-bedroom house in Dindegwa
Oh wow.
just because, and I was paying more, just because it is Dindegwa. It's a better environment. The cars are not on the streets. In Umoja, my car was on the streets.
And your car has a nice park.
Yeah, there is a compound. It's gated.
It was
there's a parking space.
It was more of a want than a necessity.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's the human nature. So
No, money will never be enough.
Yeah.
When you look at Elon Musk,
Still looking
he's the
for
richest
money.
man in the world, but he's still looking for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Jeff
hear
Bezos.
he's going to Kenya.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was in
For
LA.
this internet thing.
I was in LA recently,
Yeah.
and I was speaking to the ambassador, the consul general, Thomas Walker, and he told me like Elon Musk is going to Kenya.
Wow.
Tesla is going to Kenya,
Yeah.
Ooh.
and I have something that I am very, very interested in.
Okay.
They just discovered coltan,
Oh yeah.
the mineral in Kenya,
Mhm.
and it's been discovered in my place.
Oh.
Like
Ooh.
I have land right across the river.
Oh wow.
Ooh, wow. Wow.
So I'm very, very interested in.
You better watch
what's going
out.
on there.
They don't wipe you out. You know,
The good thing I understand there's a new policy on
on land.
on land, and especially where minerals are discovered.
Mm.
So the community down there has to like benefit a lot. Like with the Turkana oil thing,
Yeah.
it brought up about a lot about how communities benefit.
Yeah.
So
But not always the community benefits. You know, a lot of times the leaders benefit.
well, with the policies now, I think what I'm hearing is that
It's actually getting better because there were these MPs that were actually impeached recently, or their investigation, they're under investigation because of using people's money, you know, the government money.
Mhm.
Some MPs had used over 40 million Kenyan shillings, you know, on just their own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
That's Kenyan.
And I hear policies that nowadays, like I hear with the housing bill, which is very controversial. I hear the penalty, like if you misappropriate
funds.
any money, the penalty is going to be twice the amount of money that you're told or you're accused of misappropriating.
Wow.
Because these MPs went on a vacation on office
On people's
money,
money, yeah.
you know, and there are people sleeping hungry. There are
I know,
people
that's
you know.
that's very inhumane.
When you see what I don't know if you guys have been following what Eric Omondi has been doing.
Oh yeah,
He
absolutely.
has been doing more than what
Building
the,
bridges.
than what the government is doing. He's
Yeah.
helping people who are actually in need.
You're talking about building bridges, and I actually am one of the guys that's been
Yeah, I saw you
on
project.
that project, and it's still not completely done. But Eric Omondi went out there and said that he already did it and completed and cut a ribbon, but it wasn't done.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's not done.
As it is right now, I'm still looking for like 60,000.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
to complete it, because there's some support that wasn't done, and he hasn't gone back there to give them money to complete it.
Yeah.
There's some support that's needed on the sides because it's still shaky. They were cementing the
ground.
elevation towards, like, so that if you
When
want a
the river-
bicycle, you can go up because it's raised.
Okay.
So instead of creating stairs,
Oh, a
steps,
ramp.
yeah, so they did a ramp. So that was being cemented with the last money that I got before my birthday. Actually, my birthday was last week, and I was asking
Oh,
you guys
happy
to
birthday.
Oh.
thank you. Whatever the gift you want to give me, please do it. It's for a good cause.
Yeah, well.
And everything that came, I sent over there. So with the last of the amount that came, they've been able to now cement the ramp up the bridge. But we also need to paint it, because it's metal.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Oh,
rust.
yeah.
It's gonna rust and then of course wear
gonna
out.
start
So,
wearing.
Good job.
yeah, so trying to do that, but there's a lot of initiatives that people can do out there, which is charity and just being socially aware of the situations that people are in.
Yeah.
And I commend what he's doing, because for me the most important thing is that he has a platform and a wide reach.
Yeah.
So
And
it's-
he's using it
it's easy.
positively.
Yeah, he's using it positively. Has an opportunity to bring it to the awareness, like what is going on, and therefore, we can all go in and support in whichever way that we can. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I was seeing, like, he saw another bridge yesterday. I saw a post that he put, and people are telling him to avoid this political perspective. You should just remain on sisi kwa sisi.
I think he might end up running political.
He will.
I think he is. I mean,
He's gonna do
because
that.
definitely that's what he's been
Right now, he
what
has
what
a
he's
lot
gonna
of
do,
reach
yeah.
to people. He's been helping a lot of people. All I can hope is that when he gets in office, or if he tries to get in office and he makes it into the office, I would advise him to like keep it up. Like, don't change at all.
Do you think that works?
It never happens.
It almost rarely happens.
Because people just go there
But
and
you see,
just
right now
forget.
we see his work before he's in the office.
Yeah.
So I can only hope when he gets in the office, if he does decide to do it,
Yeah.
that he does even
I hope,
more work.
I hope
you
he's
know.
not doing that to just get there and then
Exactly.
after that.
What do you think happens when good people go into?
Because I don't know. Yeah.
You start fending for your needs. You start fending for your needs more than other people's needs.
And I think the system is crazy because you can be a very good person and then you go in there and then you change.
Is it the system that changes people?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of money there.
It's more of us
money.
Kenyan
You know,
people.
money is evil sometimes.
It's more of us Kenyan people.
Uh,
Because each and every one of us here, once we're in that office, we're gonna fend the best for ourselves. You see.
so do you lose your heart?
I don't believe
I think you
most
just
people.
relax.
Some people lose their hearts.
Yeah.
You know, because we've had like a lot of MPs that were nice, like they were actually nice people helping out before office,
Yeah.
and then once they get into office, they just change. You know, start squandering money, no help getting to people, roads not being reconstructed. You know,
Right.
I think some of these politicians, they just use those gestures to just get into office, and then after that,
They forget
because
all about
if
it.
you see these other people who are just working, like these elected MPs who are really doing good, maybe they never even used to do that.
Right.
And then when they got into office, they know what they're doing. But some of them, like, they just do these things, and that's why I was saying, like, I hope Mr. Eric is not doing that just to just gain that
Get in.
political
to be able to get in
yeah,
office.
and then forget about it after he gets in there.
Right.
Because he's doing something, even, you know, maybe he want to run in Nairobi, and right now he's doing things in
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So he's not going to do that.
Mm.
Yeah, once he gets there, he has to concentrate on his people who elected him. So he's not gonna go,
And
you know,
start
an
working
MP,
everywhere.
Kikuyu MP going to Western Kenya. No, that would be
He's gonna
so.
be hit by-
That would be so.
he's gonna be
wrong.
hit by
It's,
the
it's gonna,
Western
yeah, it's
Kenyan,
gonna be a lot of controversy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's our Kenya, and we love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we will wrap it up with that.
Oh, he said he has a YouTube.
He has a YouTube channel.
I have a lot actually.
Okay.
So anyway, I have my socials YouTube channel called Discover with Pharrell. I like people discovering themselves and whatever they can do with their lives. And also you can get me on Facebook. That's where I'm a little bit popular. Valeri Modoni.
Farrelly.
Valeri Modoni, yes.
Right.
RNL.
That's right.
Yeah.
Farrelly Modoni.
Valeri Modoni.
Yeah.
And Instagram, Tom Valeri.
Tom Farrelly.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys subscribe,
Please do.
follow him, and support his channel. And
How
see what he
I
does.
still have, how is the journey like with your YouTube?
I think
When did you start it, first of all?
a long time ago, but it became active like 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
I've always loved being in the media, so it just comes, you know, as a natural. I just love talking to people, encouraging people, and so it was growing, and then I stopped because I just wanted to do something different,
Right.
to reorganize myself, which I'm still doing, and yeah.
How many subscribers?
Not a lot, just almost 6,000.
Ooh.
Did you hear that?
What? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
You see?
Yeah, compared. I mean,
I just
compared
started
to
my
the-
YouTube.
No.
Me and my friend, we started our YouTube and we just hit what 100 subscribers.
100,000?
No, 100.
Oh, 100.
This
You
is
know
for
what I'm
you.
saying?
This is for you to encourage you. This is just there for you to encourage.
No, you see what I'm saying? Like, I've not really marketed it. I've just laid back, and that's why I don't have a lot of followers.
So, what would you say is the key towards getting numbers? How did you
Oh,
reach
yeah.
5,000?
Consistency.
You need
And
to
I
be
also used
consistent.
my Facebook because I have a lot of followers on Facebook.
So how did you use your Facebook to get people to you?
So when you just post there, you tell them I have a video, and then you just post just a little snapshot of the video, and then you tell them like you're gonna have to go to my YouTube channel to watch it.
But someone tells me that if you put anything that has to move someone from Facebook, the algorithms kind of subdue you.
Yes. Now, what you do if you're posting something to do with any link, you don't post the link on the actual post.
Oh, okay.
You post it on the comments.
Oh.
That's a trick everybody doesn't know. So Facebook, the whatever you
The
call it,
algorithms,
algorithm.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you post a link anywhere,
It will
it's
not
gonna
publish
go.
it. Yeah.
There was one day I have like 187K followers on Facebook. So there was a day I posted a link and it only had one like.
You wonder.
Wow, yeah, because
you wonder.
Like you have all those followers.
we've been doing a lot of content.
Yes.
Okay, we don't have much videos. We started last year.
Okay, first of all, tell us about your channel.
Yeah.
What's the name of your channel?
So our channel is called Domestic Fanboys. It's about
Domestic Fanboys?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
That's
young guys
interesting.
in
Yeah,
America.
it is, yeah.
It's me and my friend. We just shoot everyday things, everyday shenanigans. We work on cars. We customize cars mostly.
Okay.
So it's just about us doing, what we like.
The fan things.
Yeah, it's more about cars in America,
Yeah.
And we decided to start the channel because we were doing a lot of stuff, headlight installation, like so we do custom headlights. Let me show you.
Wow.
So we do custom headlights, and you are able to I'm able to like control my headlights colors. So even on my car right now, I can change my headlights colors. So we do a lot of
I
random
saw a car driving
customization.
behind me last night, and it had blue light coming out, and I was like, "Come on, you guys! I mean,
Mine's
why?
not like that.
I don't want
Mine's-
blue. Like,
Wait, you pulled over?
no.
Oh.
I'm seeing it behind me. I can tell it's not a police car.
Yeah.
But yeah,
why
it's
blue?
Alright, so
Be nice.
my headlights look more like that. Like,
Oh, cool.
if you can look at the picture,
Oh, wow.
you're able to
okay.
change the headlight color.
Yeah, that's
Oh
fun.
wow.
That's
All
fun.
right.
Yeah, so
Right.
that's the kind of stuff we do. And we've really tried. The channel's growing. We started scratch, and we don't have much influence in Facebook like him.
All right.
And it's been a journey. It's not easy, but we're gonna. This year, our plan is to get more consistent. Get
Yeah.
content out there every week. If possible, we're gonna try and drop a video every week.
Right.
And
Then
so I think-
say that name again because I want to get
Domestic Fanboys.
I'm gonna put it down here so you guys can go in and subscribe as well. Let's
yeah.
support each other.
I wanted to say something like when you grow your YouTube, it's also good to employ SEO, search engine optimization. Yes, how you're writing your content and everything, it gives you more whatever growth. Oh, yeah.
Because some videos get like really high views and some of them really don't get
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be. So
Yeah.
and something we've been trying to like figure out is the algorithm. You gotta get right with it.
Yeah.
It's a
I
gradual
also
process,
think
so-
I also think sometimes like the things you talk about also matters.
Oh yeah.
Because I started the TCTV1 USA, which is a newer channel. I didn't really know how to build the numbers there. So what I decided to do is just do shorts
Yeah.
to just bring some traffic in there.
Yeah.
And some of the shots that I've put up have nothing to do with anything that I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
But I realized when I put something about food,
Oh yeah.
I get so many people coming
Oh, yeah.
in. I put one shot about pet chiropractic, like dogs chiropractic for dogs.
Yeah.
That thing has more than 7,000
Yeah.
views.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
You see, like the
That's how it
content
works.
you're trying to like make
Yeah.
doesn't get as much views as
Yeah.
Or
Random
even you
stuff out
talk
there.
about controversial things. Oh my God, you see a lot of people there. Yes, I don't know why people worship controversy, And when you're talking about good things to grow yourself,
Nobody
comes to
exactly. If I show if I make a reel and I'm saying like, hey, this is how to make a podcast, nothing. And if I do a reel and say like, never do a podcast this way, and with all professional stuff, it's like, what do you mean? Why you shouldn't do that? You know, it's like you don't. I don't get it. You know.
I guess that's a principle behind the media strategy, that it's news when the man bites the dog, and when the dog bites the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I heard that.
Right. So I think we could probably wrap it up from there. But before we do, anything that you would like the people to know, probably that we've not touched about, and
It was a pretty nice podcast. I'd love to do it again. You know, it's something nice. Spend time, chit chat.
Yeah.
And I hope people love it.
Yeah, we've not even talked about cameras. We've not talked about photography.
We still have a lot to talk about.
We've not talked about film.
We've not even talked about film. Yeah. I was in Hollywood last week.
Oh my God! Why didn't you?
Wow.
Yeah.
You did us bad. You didn't invite us. Come on now.
I'm gonna go back again.
All right.
And
we had it there.
That's actually been a point of interest to me too.
Oh yeah.
I've actually been really interested. So with cameras, I don't like looking at them. So once I look at a camera, I lose everything up in my head.
Right.
Even at first, I was having troubles because I'm like, somebody, you know, I get weirded out by a camera, but once I don't look at it, you know, I start moving freely. And I've really liked the media industry. Something that I've actually been interested in is like being into film, and I'd love to drive to Hollywood, you know, or fly there, and get a glimpse of, you know, what acting is about.
I spent some time on Rodeo Drive.
Okay, Rodeo.
Rodeo Drive, and I'm looking at all those shops and all those places, and I kind of think there's an opportunity for a lot of people that I know. I know the other day when you were introduced to me, the guy who was introducing you to me thinks that you could be a great model, and I agreed with him because you've got a good skin tone, you've got a nice body, tall, slender, that's good for fashion, and you know, it's definitely something that I would want to try and pursue. It's just that I haven't activated everything, but I think probably as we move on, we look at developing a portfolio for you and just launch you out there.
I'd be interested in that. I've been thinking about that. I do photography, so you do photography too. You find like you have a lot of pictures of other people than the pictures you have of yourself. You go to an event, you're gonna take pictures of everybody else. You know, you're not gonna be present in those pictures because you were the one taking them. It's been a problem I've been facing, but I'm down for.
So maybe probably the next time I'm going, I should invite you guys over. Unfortunately, you're moving away to someplace.
I'm going to Iowa.
Will you be available when we call to take the trip to Hollywood? Because probably we need to spend a week over there. Going to these places. I have some contacts now.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
I have some contacts now, and I want to make some more.
What do we say? I want to be in front of the camera, not behind the camera.
Oh yeah. I prefer being I like both, but you know, being in front of the camera is different. You know, you're matter of subject.
I want all of it.
That's why
I want all of it. I just being there, seeing the way it happens. Like the thing that blew my mind, I had an opportunity to go to the multi-choice studios in South Africa, the Mnet studios. I was involved in Deal or No Deal Africa.
Oh, nice.
And just seeing like the studios and the production, because like before our turn came to go on set, you're shown like what goes on here, what's going on over there. I looked at that whole production and I was like, I want all of this.
Wow. Yeah.
So
It's amazing.
I'm excited about production. I would love to learn production.
Yeah.
Part of my considerations is to actually study film, but from a production perspective.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that's why, like, even putting up all of this is for me to try a hand in it. You know,
You
get
know,
to feel
dip
how,
your finger in
yeah,
there.
dip my fingers in there and feel how does it feel like, and I'm liking it. And
This is a
pretty-
pretty decent setup, not gonna lie. I'm a techie person, you know, I like tech here and there. And the camera, the mics, you know, everything set up, yeah, I actually like it.
yeah, so I'm still yet to learn about lighting, proper studio lighting, because like I can tell you, for instance, I mean, I keep forgetting some
Yeah.
things. Like if you look at him, there's a ray of
Oh,
sunlight.
there's a ray of
yeah,
sunlight
that's
going right underneath.
Yeah, I think it's also on me right now.
Yeah.
Like over there. Where?
I
Over
think
there.
it changed though with
Yeah.
the sunset.
Yeah. But that's something I should have thought about prior.
Oh yeah.
You know,
But I think you'll learn as you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's now the most important thing that I want to actually close with.
My advice would be like
Block
blinding the
yeah.
window and actually using secondary lighting, because
Mhm.
that's definitely gonna be better.
Yeah.
With this in the background really
Yeah.
like conflicts with, you know, with the light, the
Yeah.
lights that we have set up over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, I was just picking on what you said, because then, you know, for purposes of inspiration, and which is like what I would like give out as a take home from this, is get down to it, learn while at it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
other than sit back and wait until
And then
you
wait
Oh, no.
for
perfect.
perfection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with YouTube. Yeah, we started it, and you know,
Yeah.
get things going till we get to the point where you know,
Yeah,
you know
that's
everything,
right.
everything's perfect. Even when we look back to our first video and the video that we recently released, there's so much difference. You know, camera quality, mics, you know, things, small things like those matter. You know,
Yeah.
when someone's watching a video, they just want everything to be like perfect. You know,
Right.
they don't know what goes on behind the camera.
Behind
You
the
know, the
scenes.
lightings.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's nice, you know, learn as you go. That's
Mhm.
pretty good.
Awesome. Parting shot.
I think what I would say is there's a lot of African stories that have not been told yet, and that's why I'm doing film,
Awesome.
because I want to do that.
Awesome.
There's gonna have to be somebody to do that.
All right.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Pharrell Jr., Tony Shira.
I think we should do that again.
We should do this again?
we should.
Yeah,
Pretty
definitely.
nice.
We're going to do this again. Be sure to subscribe. Do you want to... Pharrell has a way to ask people to subscribe. Let's hear it.
Thank you, guys. Like you said, please subscribe to Tony Chira's YouTube channel.
So that is
Yeah.
TCTV1 USA and the Tony Shira Show. We will see you again next time.
Thank you.
1, 2.